Hey everyone, so I'm going to talk about a topic a little bit different than I would normally talk about. So I got a question from one of our recent grads, and I'm going to read that to you right now. Let me just pull it up on my phone. So it has to do with mindset more than anything. Um, and so this is what he asked. Okay. Um, so he had a pretty long email there, just telling me about some other things about his experience, talking about being nervous, that he's an amateur, and he's going to look amateurist when he starts because he's never done repair. And he came to class and, he has a full-time job and he's trying to do cell phone repair on the side to make some extra money and maybe leave his job, maybe not. He likes his job, right? And doing that mobile and doing that in a vehicle or in somewhere public or bringing people to his home. Um, and, his main question when he got down to it, I even said, sorry for the long email. So my question is, have you ever had imposter syndrome? And so, my response to this, I've spoken about this before. As a business owner, I too have imposter syndrome sometimes, and I know that that's hard for people to believe, especially a lot of people who see me online or don't actually really know me in real life. They just think well, even probably people who see me every day think I'm pretty confident and that I just know what I'm doing, but probably my family know that, I came from nothing. I built my business from nothing. And there's been days where I've, cried myself to sleep because I just didn't know what I was doing, like, what am I doing here? Someone give me an instruction booklet because I'm really confused and scared and I want to go back to having a job, right? Well, so I've been self-employed since 2009-ish, 2010-ish. So whenever you're watching this, right, that you calculate the years. And I can tell you though, the first 6 years were brutal. The first three, I don't even know how I slept. The first year was the very worst. When I quit my job, uh, the imposter syndrome was like just over the hill. Even though I was fixing devices at the time, I wasn't training or anything. But even though I was doing repair and I was having some success, that feeling of being an imposter is just there, right? And what I learned over the years and getting that syndrome lower is that in reality, in the beginning, you are an imposter. I mean, know, like, let's just face it. I mean, you just learned you're not an expert, but that's okay. Everybody starts somewhere. And that's the important thing that you have to remember, that you have to work through that feeling no matter if you feel it or not, because I'm going to tell you something, it doesn't ever actually go all the way away. I'm sure there's some people out there that don't feel it at all. But for those of us that have high sensitivity to how other people feel and, which is me, and I have a huge conscience, like I don't want to do anything wrong to anyone. And so for me, I was like, I always need to make sure I'm providing true, legit value or I feel really bad about it. And so I always am questioning myself. Well, now that's a benefit. I mean, I even teach my team that, my child that. Never trust yourself. Always question what you're doing. Make sure that you're doing it to the best that you can do and that there's not anything else you could be thinking of. And it's okay to say, I don't trust myself. I need to write everything down. I need to make sure I use to-do list. I make sure I'm using a calendar. Make sure I'm constantly researching new tools and processes because I don't know everything and I am not the source of information. And so I teach my team that, and like I said, I teach my child that. And so what I responded to him was, you at this point are an imposter. That's what people miss about imposter syndrome. They miss that, oh, wait, I don't really know what I'm doing. I know it, I've learned it, but what imposter syndrome is you have not proven to yourself enough that you can actually do something. And then even when you do it enough, you're always, as a business owner, you're always starting something new. And that's, people think that, and this is, man, there was this one woman that I had spoke with. She was a business owner for decades and very successful. And I had a coaching call with her and I said, so how do you, I just feel like I'm keep going. When am I going to get there? She was like, Nicole, there's no getting there. you're always, business and life is like a ball. It's like a rolling ball, and you just roll into something else. You're never going to stop, and you're never going to get there. There is no there. And I was like, huh? What? It was like life changing to me because no one had ever really said that to me, right? Um, and also I had another mentor in the beginning of my business. I just felt like everything was happening to me. I was like, why is everything going wrong? I'm working so hard. And she looked at me and she said, the world does not evolve around you. And I was like, oh, it doesn't. So it's not happening to me. And, she said it's happening for you, but the world doesn't evolve around you. So there are things outside of you that are happening that you can't control, and you have to watch how you react. And so those were two things that I've been told in my life that kind of stuck with me. Also, I was told, always learn how to eat by yourself, go to movies by yourself, and read. And I learned that from a woman who was 85 and her husband been passed away for 30 years, and she still wore a wedding ring, and she said, you need to learn how to eat by yourself, go to movies by yourself, have fun by yourself. And so those are kind of my life lessons. But when it comes to that imposter syndrome, I have learned that it just means that you need to prove to yourself that you know what you're doing. It's like training for me. I don't have imposter syndrome around that anymore at all. It's because I've already proven to myself I understand how to train people, how to connect with them, how to make them feel like I heard them, right? How to respond to them, how to use enough words. I feel like in day-to-day life, we don't use enough words. And as a trainer, you need to understand that words are important. Over explaining is important. Re-explaining is important. And so I feel like I've I'm not mastered it, like I've not stopped learning, but I feel very confident. And I don't have imposter syndrome about that at all, right? But new things that we go into, I may feel that, but I have to lean back on, okay, I trust myself enough to know that I'm not going to trust myself, and I'm going to keep growing and keep investing in my clients. And um and I proved to myself, look, you helped this client. Look, you just did that. You just did this. You did that. I'll go into a mirror. And that's what I told this person. I'll go stand in a mirror after we've left a client or sometimes in their bathroom and say, look, you did that. You helped them. See, you know what you're doing. Relax. Because imposter syndrome can cause anxiety. And that's what it did to me. It caused extreme anxiety. And so I'm able, even looking at this camera and saying it, I instantly felt like a relief, even though I didn't even have stress. I just thought my body was like, yeah, we know what we're doing. Right. So as a business owner, when you're starting your business, if you're scared to get into this industry because you feel like, oh, I don't know what I'm doing, I won't know what I'm doing, guess what? You're not going to know what you do with any business. Okay. Any business that you start, you are going to have imposter syndrome. I'm here to tell you, you're going to feel like you don't know what you're doing. You have to work through that feeling and keep doing it, even though you feel that way. So I hope this helped you, and I hope to see you guys in our classes. Check out our online portal. We've got tons of courses and programs launching. Check out Repairs First Association and our partnership with them. And whatever you do, just do what you love, go after your dreams, and don't let that imposter syndrome stop you.